Kiss on the first date, yes or no?
If they just downed a couple greasy burgers and garlic fries and they got a little sweat on their lip, it might turn me off real big time. If they're handsome enough, I might just break some of my own rules.
No, I don't know where your mouth has been.
My name's Josh.
My name is Elena.
I'm Alistair.
My name is Susan.
How many first dates have you been on?
20 to 30. Yeah.
4.
Probably over 20.
25 to 40 or so? Is that a lot?
What's your ideal first date?
I actually like dates like over dinner. A lot of my mentality at the time was, well, I have to eat dinner and I don't want to get coffee at like 6 p.m. If you're kind of newly single and you're going on a lot of dates, like you can only have coffee so many times in one day.
Over lots of food, lots of red wine, we're talking, they're asking me lots of questions. I'm eating. I love to eat with my hands, but I don't want to be like too gross. I had one person one time tell me that they would definitely pick me up or talk to me until they saw me eat and they never would do it again. So probably something delicate like a soup. And maybe we do something adventurous like putt-putt.
I love brunch. I like to actually have the other person plan it because I think that's a good reflection of how the person is. I like to end them around afternoon so I could go to my friend's place and tell them about the date.
Drinks at a bar. No dinner, no meal allowed.
Are you the person who usually asks or the person who waits to ask?
Most of the time I'll ask if the person seems willing.
Oh, I always wait. I don't ask anyone out.
Like, for example, if we're like talking about like our favorite coffee shop or, I don't know, lunch place, I'll be like, oh, it'd be nice, for you to take me there. So subtle, right?
My Southern upbringing definitely tells me that I'm a person that waits to be asked because I like to see a man make a move. But now if Matthew McConaughey walks into a bar, I just might have to pick him up.
What do you do leading up to a date? What does that pre-date process look like for you?
I think I'm a pretty let's just say very lighthearted stalker. Maybe go into their social media to like see if they're actually telling the truth. I actually have a weird thing about deciding if I should wear contacts or glasses on the date. It's like, should I wear fashionable glasses or should I be my full face? And then like picking out a good perfume or cologne. I'm gonna take care of myself. This is kind of like my best self, and if the other person doesn't like it, then it's their problem.
After a while, I was very efficient where I have a first date bar, a first date outfit, and I look the same every time on the first date.
I like to be really punctual, a little bit early if I can be, just because I think it shows the person that you're like really respectful of their time. Do your skincare routine, and then I like to listen to like some pump up music. Nothing like romantic, but just something to kind of get me confident or like pumped up, ready to talk to someone really. I like to listen to anime openings. Like it gets you so hyped. The last thing I probably like to do is just maybe call a friend. People probably don't think you have to worry about it as a guy, but like anytime you're going to meet up with someone for the first time from the internet, even if it's of a friend, I think you should always just let someone know where you are in terms of safety.
I definitely feel like I am a hype man at heart. Hyping my friends up, hyping my man up, hyping myself up. So if I'm doing my pre-date, I'm like Future's background hype man, like, get. So I'm just like revving myself up. Energy is high. I might go on a run to get rid of like the pre-anxiety jitters. I get dressed to the nines because I'm always overdressed rather than underdressed. And I love breaking necks. And I think that I might meditate or center myself just so I know, I'm there for a purpose, and that's to snag a man.
What are small gestures in the first few dates that are very sweet and meaningful to you?
Maybe little compliments. Be like, oh, I noticed you had a haircut. Oh, I sprayed, this cologne. It would be nice if they noticed it. I made an effort. It would be nice to be noticed for it.
When they remember what you talked about, if they remember and they follow up and ask about it, and they're like, oh, last time we hung out, you had this big presentation, how did it go? Follow up and be like, oh, here's that article we talked about, or here's something that made me think of you, here's a meme that made me think of you, stuff like that, where it shows me that they paid attention and listened.
I'd actually rather have someone who's a little bit more nervous than a little bit more cocky. If you go on a first date and the person feels like they're too good to be here, that this feels like date number 6 out of 8 that they've had today,
I've got to have somebody that, has manners and a big heart. So if they're opening up my car door, if they're opening up the restaurant door, be nice to the wait staff or the bartender, maybe they've got like a nice tip that they're throwing on the bill, just being very courteous, having lots of manners, looking nice. They didn't just roll out of bed, but, they put in some effort into the experience. Oh, and they planned it, like it was thoughtful. It wasn't just like, here's where I bring all the women. But it's like, no, you said you like sushi? This is the best sushi spot in town.
What are your red flags on a first date?
If they just talk about themselves the whole time, they don't ask me any questions.
And then all they do is talk about work.
If they're rude to people, like if they're acting entitled, they don't tip well, they don't open up my car door.
There's also like red flags where they start complimenting me about how Asian I am, or like trying to guess my ethnicity.
People who can't carry a conversation, they talk really poorly about their ex-partners. Less so like, I had a shitty first date, let's laugh about it, like that's fine. But more like, oh yeah, like my ex-girlfriend was this terrible person and she was like the whore for all of these reasons. I think it shows to me that you're not over it, and then if you are over it, why do you bring this up on a first date?
I feel like a lot of flags are mostly kind of yellow, where it's kind of like, oh, that was kind of weird. I went on a date with someone who was just really self-deprecating. So she had gone to UC Berkeley for undergrad, one of the best universities in the world. And she was saying to me like, yeah, I don't think I should have gotten in. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve to be there. I was like, no, like you seem like pretty smart. Like, I don't think you should feel that way. And then she said, no, trust me, I'm like way too stupid to be there. If you think you're stupid, it's like, I'm not here to like validate your insecurities. If you're on a first date just to fish for compliments, you will kind of start to realize that confidence kind of just has to come from yourself instead of from somebody else.
What is your philosophy on who pays?
So I actually never pay on the first date.
Gentlemen's got to at least offer, and then also definitely pay for the first date. Just the first.
When the bill comes, I pretend I will pay. So I'll be like, oh, I'll get it. And then usually the person's like, oh, I'll get it. No, I'll get it. And then I'll be like, no, okay, fine. You get it. I'll get it next time. And then sometimes there won't be a next time.
I'm always going to do my part and just like, oh, let me help out, but if they take me up on that offer, we ain't talking again. If they don't, if they're just automatically like, yep, halvesies, then we ain't talking again. I might just sneak out to the bathroom and just never show my face around.
I came from kind of the traditionalist background of, the male always pays in a heterosexual relationship. And then I looked at my credit card bill and I was like, oh, does the man really always have to pay? This is starting to add up. If the date was going well, I would pay for the dinner and then ask them to get the next one. And if the date wasn't going well, I would just ask them to split. This didn't happen to me, but I had a friend who had gone on a couple dates with this guy, maybe like 3 or 4 dates, and he paid for all the dates. Like they went to fancy dinner, and then for whatever reason, like it didn't work out, which was fine. Like she wasn't bitter about it. It was a mutual thing. And then 2 weeks later, he sent her like a Venmo request for all 4 of the dates that they had been on to like split all the food and stuff.
I will always split the bill. I think I don't like to owe people anything. Or if they're like, oh, like you got this one, I'll get I got this one, you'll get the next one. Because then I feel like I have to go on a next one if I don't want to go on a next one. So I am very adamant on always splitting the bill.
Kiss on the first date, yes or no?
I think we might be locking lips if we've got that natural chemistry and I'm just staring at their lips the whole time. But if they just downed a couple greasy burgers and garlic fries and they got a little sweat on their lip, it might turn me off real big time. But again, if they're handsome enough, I might just break some of my own rules.
No, I don't know where your mouth has been.
I think the first question is, are you okay with it? What does like kissing mean to you? Is like, for some people, if you kiss on the first date, they're like, oh, you want to be in a relationship with me, don't you, right? But for other people, it's like, no, I just kissed you. I actually have like a rule of thumb though, where I don't make the move. I never make the first move on a first date. I don't want someone to feel pressured like in any way to have any like kind of physical romance if they're not ready or they're not comfortable.
If I like the person, I would kiss on the first date. If I don't like the person, I will not kiss on the first date or any date.
After the first date, How do you let the other person know if you're interested in seeing them again or not?
I personally have like a huge vendetta against ghosting because I think it's just kind of disrespectful. I think it's fine if you both kind of fizzle out. Like, you know, the first date was okay, and then you were both busy, and then it just didn't work out that you could see each other again, and so you just never texted each other. But if like first date happens, I text you the next day and say that I had a really good time, asking if I could see you again, and you just like basically never reply, that's a little worse. But as far as positive signals, I think following up is a really good one. Saying like, I had a really good time, or I really liked the food, or it was really good meeting you. And then you don't have to ask again right there. Just kind of like trying to continue conversation so you can like bring up something from your first date. It's like, oh, maybe you guys like talked about Game of Thrones, and it's like, oh yeah, I had a really good time. Are you watching the Game of Thrones finale tonight? Like, I'm going to be disappointed. And then obviously just telling them that you want to see them again, I think is always a good plan.
I feel like a lot of times the guy will hint at like making other plans, or they're like, oh, like we should do this sometime, or we should do that sometime, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm down to do X, Y, Z things that we just talked about. Versus if someone says that and I'm not interested, I'm like, haha, oh maybe.
You hit him with an oh maybe.
Just like, yeah, that's a really cool thing. You should totally do that. Not with me.
I don't know why there's like a rule where like don't text back, wait a day or something. I do text back. I'd be like, thank you for tonight. I really appreciate, you know, something like that. I don't know if it works, but like I always do a winky face. Just like, thank you for your time. You know, if I'm still interested, I think I would do the cute things where every morning wake up and then be like, good morning, like be the first one to message them. Even when I go to bed, they'll be the last person. Those are the little things I think I do, but I don't know if they notice.
I'm not one to play any types of games. If I'm interested, I'm gonna let you know I'm interested. I ain't trying to cut any corners. I'm gonna text you back, or, you know, maybe give you a call. Maybe after my Facebook research, I just find out that you work near where I work. And so I just walk by, you see me out of the corner. I'm popping into your head and you don't really know why, but it's because, you know, I've been walking around town. So I let you know I'm interested, I'm messaging you. Or if you text me, I text you right back. I don't play games.
What have you done to get out of a date before? Whether you tried ending it yourself or tried to get the other person to end it.
I've definitely have done I'm gonna go to the bathroom and have left.
I already have my card ready in my back pocket, and this is something that I've told girlfriends about, I've told ex-boyfriends about, but thankfully I've never had to actually use it. I always use it around family, ironically enough. But I have a dairy intolerance, and so I know if I'm about to order that queso, or I'm gonna get me a cheese taco, or some cheese fries, I know in about 30 minutes I'm gonna be the gassiest person in the room. I might need to take a couple trips to the bathroom, and it's not something I gotta lie about either. So I would definitely pull the dairy card. I'm gonna order the biggest block of cheese dip that I can think of, and then just get right out of there. Blame it on the intestines.
I definitely faked someone is sick and I need to go take care of them. My friend needs me to help him move. It was a really bad lie because it was like 7 p.m. on a Thursday. It was like, my friend needs me to help him move. And they were like, oh, okay. I mean, they didn't question it, so I guess that was good. But looking back, I was like, that was a really bad excuse. That doesn't even make sense. This happened to me before. Someone said that they had to like help their parents do something or like take care of someone at like 10 p.m. And then I looked at my phone, I was like, it's 10:30. And then I was like, oh, hey, it's 10:30. Like, do you have to go to that thing? And they were like, oh, no, I just made that up just in case I wasn't having a good time.